Okay, hello everyone. Welcome back to another live stream. So in this live stream, so every Wednesday, what I do is I choose one student's essay and give them a full essay correction. So just plugged in my internet cable. Okay, so basically full essay correction for one person. So the way it works is I shared the question with you last week. A handful of people responded, and I'll just choose one of those people at random and give them a full essay correction. I also have the new question for next week's competition, and I'll share that with you at the end of this live stream. Before we get started, I have some lessons here for you. So these are the ones that if you're familiar with me and Complete Test Success, you'll be familiar with these lessons, but it's basically a complete task 2 guide. So if you're not sure how to respond to a task 2 question, you should complete those. So that's pretty much it. If you're joining me live, or if you're watching the recording, please get involved, ask whatever questions you have. If you need anything, if you don't understand the feedback I'm giving, if you don't understand why I'm giving the scores that I'm giving, feel free to ask and I'll help. Hey Rupinder, I saw your essay, you posted it just a little while ago, so I got you I got your name in. That's pretty much it. So all we need to do is choose a winner. So here's the software. You should see your name here if you enter the competition, and I'll just click this and get the name of the winner. So we have Kulwant. Excellent. Well done, Kulwant. I know you'll be happy about that. So I need a moment just to get Kulwant's answer. Kulwant posted on YouTube. So I'll just pull that up and then we'll be ready to get started. Oh, I've just seen 2 new entrants, Amrit and Manpreet. So really, you need to get your answer in before Wednesday. Because I need to set up all the software and get all the names from the various places. So if you leave it this close to the start of the live stream, it's too late. So to be safe, and this is for everyone, even like Kulwant and Rupinder, you got in pretty late. I had to redo the software, but get in by the end of Tuesday to be 100% sure, because I don't want anybody to miss out. Okay, so okay. All right. So I have that ready to go. So I'll just share my screen with you. Hey, Jarvin. Hi, Kulwant. Kulwant. Yay. Good. I knew you'd be happy about it. Hi, Vicious. Vicious. Good to see you here again. All right. So here we go. This is it. Like I said, I'll pop in and out between every paragraph and I'll see if anyone has any questions or any comments. So feel free to get involved. So let's have a look at this. Okay, so this is the question. In recent times, many children spend more time playing video games than they do playing sport. Okay. So that's what I'm expecting in this first part of the sentence here. So that's what I'm looking for here. Nowadays, a lot of little ones, that is too informal. So let me just change that back to whatever it said. Children. Yeah, a lot of children spend more time playing video games than they do playing sport. Spend less time playing sport than they do on video gaming. Okay, yeah, so that's all fine. So just the word little ones isn't appropriate because it is it needs to be a formal style because it's an academic style essay. This is due to the advancements in technology, specifically in audio-visual gaming. Okay, so that's why is this the case? That's perfect. And do you think this is a positive or negative development? So that's what I'm looking for here, a response to this second question. However, I consider it as a negative development because it makes them physically inactive. Okay, perfect. So what we have is a direct response to both questions. The main ideas are relevant and specific. So besides this one mistake that we saw here with the tone of the vocabulary, that is a good response. Okay. So moving from there, we need a paragraph about why this is the case. So in this next paragraph here, I'm expecting this to be all about why is this the case. So the first sentence should repeat that idea, and then there should be development, be it explanations or examples or whatever. So let's just have a look. So this first sentence should have the main idea repeated. So that main idea being advancements in technology. So technological advancements can be considered as the main reason behind this trend of children spending more time playing video games. So it's just a preposition mistake there. So we'll just delete that. Okay, so then we want more development. So we need an explanation. This is because in the past few decades, so there's two spaces there, virtual gaming has changed the way children play, and they have more options such as virtual reality, which enables them to play any game just like the real. So there's a problem with that, the real. Any game, just like the real thing. But it's not really like the real thing. So if they're playing a game about playing football, it's not like the real thing because they're sitting on their couch. So I'm just going to delete that. They can play any game by sitting on their couch. Okay. They do not feel the need to go out and play with others as they can invite their friends virtually and play with them online. All this happens due to the advancements. So spell a mistake here. Due to the advancements in technology. So why are they playing more? So it's not directly addressing. I'll have to look at it again, but what I would like is they're doing this instead of playing sport. So that's the whole point of the essay. The question is, why are they playing video games more than sport? So a lot of this is just describing video games. So describing what they do playing video games. And there's only a very small part of this essay, of this paragraph, talking about how that stops them from playing sport. So I would like a much stronger response to this is why they're not playing sport as much, and that hasn't been done. So if we look here, like there's this bit, they do not feel the need to go out and play with others. So that there is the only part that's really addressing what the question is about. So I think, like Kulwant, what probably happened here is when you were developing your main ideas, so like let's say for the introduction, when you were developing your main ideas, you're focusing on the topic of the question. But when you're focusing on developing your ideas, you're only focusing on your main idea. You're not looking closely enough at your main idea in the context of the question. So you need to state it more directly. They do not feel the need. It's not strong enough. It's they don't want to, they don't like to, like the games are more entertaining than playing sport. It's you haven't said it. And then like even to go out and play, the question is specifically about playing sport, not just about going out to play. So like going out to play isn't necessarily playing sport. You know, there are lots of other games that kids can play besides playing sport. So really, you haven't. No, you haven't addressed this. You haven't. You're talking in general terms about playing video games. You're not really, strictly speaking, you're not in the context of the question. So no, this development isn't appropriate. Why did he use however to introduce his statement? I'll have to go back and look at that now. Why did he use? Because it's negative. Because he's saying that it's negative. So however, yeah, so it's like, it doesn't necessarily sound like a bad thing, but he's saying, however, I think it's negative. So you couldn't say, however, I think it's positive, but to say, however, I think it's negative makes sense. Okay, so unfortunately, that paragraph doesn't explicitly state why they're playing games instead of playing sport. This little bit, they do not feel the need to go out. That's kind of getting close to it, but it's not close enough. It's not stating it, so no. So what we're looking at then is task achievement band 6. And even if the next paragraph is perfect, that's not going to be enough to recover the score, the task achievement score. Maha, hey Maha, good to see you. Hope you're feeling a bit better. You were saying you had a fever. Hi Maravik, hope you're doing well. Good to see you here too. Okay, so next we need to look at the second body paragraph, and that needs to talk about, do you think it's a positive or negative development? So Kulwant already said that it is negative because it makes them physically inactive. And what we want is the exact same idea again. So what you don't want is a different idea or a change of an idea or a change of your opinion. You have to be consistent throughout. So we want that same idea here again. However, in my perception, it is a negative trend because it makes children physically inactive. Okay, exactly what we wanted. So next sentence, this is because they play while sitting at home. So you need to tidy up that mistake there with the space. So there shouldn't be a space between home and the comma, which makes them physically inactive. Okay, so this is kind of, they play while sitting at home, which I don't like the fact that you've just repeated makes them physically inactive. You need to explain it better than that, which I'm sure you will in the next sentence. But that's not enough. The first half of the sentence looked like you were going to talk about what you needed to talk about. But the second half, which makes them physically inactive, you're just repeating that idea. So no, you need to go beyond that. Okay, so moving on here. In the past, when children did not have enough technological resources, such as video games, they used to step out of their houses. Yeah, not step out. Let's change that to like go out. Used to go out of their houses or go outside. You know, go outside is more natural. I'm going to change that. Used to go outside, meet with their friends, and play with them, and they were physically active, whereas nowadays they prefer not to go out and play at home, which makes them physically inactive. Okay, but again, remember we're talking about sport, so it's not just about playing with your friends. It's specifically, the question said sport. So it's not about playing outside, it's about playing sport. So you need to keep, and I've seen you do this before as well, Kulwant, is you're not keeping yourself inside the boundaries of the question. So the question has given you the context, and if you go outside that, you're not talking about what the question asked you to talk about. So it's not about playing outside, it's about playing sport, specifically playing sport. So you need to be much more careful with that, that you are directly addressing what the question asked. Okay, so then we have an example. For example, it is noted in Punjab, which is a state of India, that today's children are less active physically than the children of past decades, and the most responsible thing behind this is the video games they play. Yep, that's good. That works. So the example here is good. The explanation, a little bit of repetition with it makes them inactive, it makes them physically inactive, it makes them physically inactive. So I don't like the repetition. So like restating your main idea instead of explaining your main idea. But then it should have been about sport. So that was the problem here. This is a better paragraph than the previous one because of the example. But the explanation needed to be addressing sport in particular. Okay, anyone else have any questions? Hey, Sarah. Hi, Jashan. Yes, sir, I focus on topic sentence, not the question. It's such a common problem. Such a common problem, Kulwant. It's not just you. I see this all the time. And it's that pattern. Like, it makes sense. It makes sense, but it doesn't work. So you're trying to think of main ideas, you're looking at the question. You're trying to think of how to expand your main ideas, you're looking at the main ideas. It's not you. I've seen this thousands of times. But you can't. You have to develop your main ideas in the context of the question. So you have to continue thinking about the question. And that's why it's so important to plan your essay before you write it. If you don't write a plan, you just start writing your essay, you're thinking of too many things at the same time. You're thinking of the language. You're thinking as you go. But if you sit down and you write a plan first, it takes a few minutes, but it makes writing the essay faster. Plan your essay first, and as you're planning, you write down, how am I going to explain this? And then you look and go, oh, wait, no, is this in the context of the question? And you look back at the question while you're doing it. So you'll refer to your main idea and the question, and you'll keep looking at those things when you're considering how to develop your main ideas. And when that happens, you'll see, oh, wait, I'm supposed to be talking about sport. You cross out your explanation and replace it with an appropriate one. So doing that while you're planning the essay. So if you're not planning your essays, start now. And if you are planning your essays, pay more attention to the question when you're considering your development. Hey, Muzam, good to see you here. Vicious, each body paragraph needs its own example. An example is there are two main ways to develop your ideas. And when there are only two main ideas, it's definitely easiest to go like topic sentence, explain it, give an example. That's it's the easiest way to go. But what you saw in Kulwant's second body paragraph, which didn't include an example, if that was appropriate, as in if it was relevant, that would be fine. So the fact that there wasn't an example isn't an issue. The issue was that it wasn't relevant. So yeah, if your explanation is long enough, that your paragraph is long enough, you don't necessarily need an example, but it's definitely less taxing. It's easier to think of what to say when you're going with explanation and example, especially when there are only two main ideas in your answer. How can we plan it? So Sarah, I'm gonna draw you back. If you go to like the first comment, just scroll up or down. I'm not sure what way Facebook works. Sometimes the top is the new one and sometimes the bottom one is the new one. But just go to the first comment and you'll see this complete task 2 guide. And there are detailed instructions on how to plan and what things to consider while you're planning. Planning, like, it's the thing about planning is everybody initially thinks it's a waste of time. It's not going to make things easier. I only have 40 minutes. I already need to write the essay. You're giving me extra things to do. But what you're really doing when you're planning is you're compartmentalizing the different things you need to do. So instead of writing your essay, trying to think of the vocab, trying to think of the grammar, trying to think of the ideas, trying to analyze your ideas, making sure your ideas are relevant and specific, making sure your explanations are in the context of the question and referring to your main idea all at the same time, you're just doing that first. Focus on the vocab and grammar while you're writing. So it seems like more things, but it's the process makes the whole thing much easier. So yeah, I think for me, for pretty much like the last 12 years, if I say write a plan, probably 100% of students will go, okay, and then not do it. Like over and over again, where I'll say, write a plan, write a plan, write a plan. And they'll always say, yep, definitely, I'll definitely do that. And then it comes to, time to write an essay and they all just go straight to the essay and skip the plan. So it's very difficult for me to convince people of how important it is to write a plan. The initial reaction, and been very honest, when I was studying in school and our teachers told us to write plans, my reaction was the same. But if you just try it 2, 3, 4 times, you'll see the difference. It's so different. Thanks, Gulwant. Fishes, in introduction, after mentioning the cause, can I also use likewise similarly if I pick negative side? No. So it seems like you're not sure of the meaning of those cohesive devices. So you just do a little bit more research to make sure. I evaluated the previous essay, which I planned before writing, and this essay was not planned. Okay, so there you go. That's, I mean, perhaps disappointing, but a very easy solution. It's like, you didn't plan, now you know you should have, next time you plan. It's not a difficult thing to fix, compared to, someone whose vocab or grammar is a band 5, like that takes a lot of work. But, you skip the step, it's easy to rectify that. Thank you, Mohammed. I am doing very well, thank you. Okay, so let's get back into this essay. So we just have the conclusion left. So to conclude, children nowadays spend their more time spend more of their time on video games instead of playing sports. This is because of the technology. In my opinion, it is a negative development because they become physically inactive by doing so. Yep, so that conclusion is perfect. We had everything we wanted in that conclusion. Okay, so task achievement, as we said, is a band 6. There were 2 main ideas. They were relevant and specific. So that was enough. And basically what happened in the body paragraphs was not enough to improve the task achievement score. Coherence and cohesion, it is very coherent. It's well organized. Each sentence leads logically from one to the next. Yeah, so that's band 8 for coherence and cohesion. Vocab. So little ones, that's an issue. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, there was this bit here, just like the real. I forgot about this bit. So that actually would damage the coherence and cohesion score, because I didn't know what that was supposed to be. I'm going to have to bring coherence and cohesion down to 7. Spelling mistake for vocab. Step out of their houses. Yeah. I mean, I know what it means. The phrase is to step outside, but it wouldn't work in this context, and it's a bit informal as well. And that's a grammar thing. Okay, so that's vocab band 7. And then for grammar, we have one preposition mistake here. And one syntax mistake here. Spend more of their time. Band 8 for grammar. It's good. Enough range and enough variety there. So that is an overall score of band 7. Brilliant. So the language ability definitely rescued that score. Grammar in particular. But I mean, that could have been. No. Even if task achievement was band 7, that still would have been an overall score of band 7. So, even those mistakes, because the grammar was so good, the mistakes with task achievement actually didn't bring down the score. Because that, if the 2 body paragraphs were fully developed, so for example, when we were looking at the second body paragraph, we had the topic sentence was good, the example was good, but the explanation in the middle was problematic. So if that explanation had been appropriate, that would be a band 8 style paragraph, but you need to do that twice. So not just once, you need 2 paragraphs with full development. So yeah, I mean, the easiest way to improve on that score would be working on task achievement for sure. And then there was that one little mistake in the middle, which was unclear. Hey, Rupinder. Yeah, you have to write a plan. It makes such a big difference to task achievement. And I think as well, it's like what will happen, especially if I'm talking to somebody who's failed the test and they're saying to me, I did really well in my essay. And you go, okay, what was the question about and what did you write? And they say, oh, I wrote, this is the question, this is what I wrote. We're like, well, look, none of that's, your main ideas aren't relevant. And then they go, oh, right, yeah. And they understand it when it's pointed out. But you need to get to the point where you can look at your own main ideas and go, oh, I made a mistake. That was irrelevant. I need to get a new idea. And doing that while you plan the essay is relatively straightforward. But doing that while you're writing the essay, it's really difficult to pull it back and find those. So yeah. You're very welcome. I know you always enter every week, but as it's the luck of the draw, I click that button. Okay, so I also have, let me share my live feedback lessons with you. I have live feedback lessons. So they're my group lessons on Zoom for my subscribers. So if you have not already subscribed, click on that link there and sign up. Then I have a task 1 lesson later today for academic, so you can join that. And I have a task 2 lesson on Friday, as well as the other live streams that I have going on. So I have every week I have live streams on Facebook and YouTube, and also these live feedback lessons on Zoom for my subscribers. I also have one-on-one services So that could be an essay correction like the one you saw, or a practice speaking test. And I also have a writing course with a small number of places available. So if you're interested in any of those, you'll find them all here with the same link. So can I get more than a band 7 in writing? I mean, the mistakes that you're making, because you've used my one-on-one services, you know, like I've been correcting essays for you, and I do understand the types of mistakes that you make. Yes, you can get more than band 7, but the mistakes with including like the development in this answer wasn't appropriate. So you can't continue making those mistakes. And they're mistakes that I've seen you make a few times. So can you get more? Yes. I mean, everybody can get more, but you need to stop repeating the mistakes that you're making. And it's really about when you are analyzing the question and planning your essay, that's generally where you're going wrong. So it might be you need to practice that more. You know, instead of taking one question and writing a full essay, take a question and plan it, get another question and plan it, get another question and plan it. That's where you're going wrong. So don't spend all your time writing essays, spend all your time planning essays, and don't worry about writing them. That'll mean, you know, you're getting more practice with the amount of time you're spending on it. But yeah, you can, but you need to be more strict. So it might be you need to spend more time planning, you need to spend more time practicing your planning, but you need to overcome that issue. One of the most reliable IELTS preparation channels. Thanks, Mozam. Okay, so 2 more things. Next week, so next Wednesday, there will be another competition. So let me just share the question with you for next week. As the average rate at which people get married increases, some people worry that it will have a negative impact on the family. To what extent do you agree or disagree? So if you'd like to enter the competition that Kulwant just won, write an answer to that, and you can put it in the recording of this. I'll also post that question on Sunday in Facebook and YouTube, so you can respond to that as well. So you can do that as well. And also on Sunday, I made a post and I said, if you want to win a practice IELTS speaking test, put your name in the comments. So I'd like to draw the winner for that competition as well. That one was a lot more popular than the essay correction competition. Perhaps the fact it's very easy to write your name and it takes, you know, time to write the full essay. So just give me a minute here now. I get all the names for this. Like I was saying, I did this last week as well. I'm just more comfortable doing it live. I mean, I'm not cheating. I don't particularly want one person to win over the other. I'm happy to help everyone. But I think it just looks more legitimate when I do it live. Okay. So let me once more share that app with you. Okay. So here we have, sorry, I need to reset that. Okay, so here we have all the names that entered. So if you entered the lucky draw for the speaking test, you should see your name on the screen here. And let me find it. Al-Sadiq. Okay, congratulations, Al-Sadiq. I'll be in touch with you and we'll arrange a time for that. And I think that's everything that we needed to go through here. I believe so. Does anyone else have any questions or anything? Sarah. So I'll have for the essay the speaking competition, I'll make another post this Sunday. So keep an eye out for that, and you just write your name under there. So it's if you're already following me on Facebook, I'm pretty sure you get a notification. Hi, Abini. So again, so I think I explained that badly. It was those people already entered their name under the post on Sunday. Al Sadiq, is that how you say? So that's two names. I got that messed up. Okay, Al Sadiq. Okay, so that's it. Does anyone have any other questions or need anything before we finish up? So like I said, live feedback lesson, sign up for that with this link. And you can come join me for my academic task 1 lesson in a few hours. And then I have another live stream tomorrow, much later tomorrow, for task 2. And then another live feedback lesson, one of these ones, on Friday. Okay, so that's it for now, I guess. Sarah, you're very welcome. Okay, take care of yourselves and see you either later today or tomorrow. Okay, bye-bye.